Sincerely Ramis. Today, as you could tell from the title, I'm going to tell you all my abortion story. But before we get into all of the details of what happened with myself in this situation, I just want to say I'm not in any form promoting abortion. I am pro-choice, and I do believe that women should have the right to decide what they want to do with their selves as far as a baby is concerned, because they have to carry it. But I'm not telling anybody to go and get an abortion. I don't think it's cute. It's not, it's not one of those things. That's not what we're saying. But I just wanted to give that little disclaimer before we got into the video. So let's get into it. So I was very young, high school, and I had this boyfriend. We can call him Raspy. Him and I, it's crazy. So I met him through one of my cousins. One of my cousins was his, was one of his best friends. They had like a little clique or whatever, and I seen him, and I'm like, who that? Like, he cute. And he was, I was interested in him too. Like, not only was he cute, like he was fly or whatever, but he had like this real distinct raspy voice. Like when you heard him, you knew it was him because his voice was so raspy. Like it was like the cutest thing ever. I'm like, who is this little raspy old man? Sound like an old man. So, we kicked it or whatever. We ended up liking each other. We ended up being in a relationship. And, we was cute. He went on vacation with his family. He brought me back a little spray painted shirt with me and his name on it with our little date or whatever. Like, it was cute. We did have sex, obviously. That's how we telling the story. But we ended up becoming sexually active with one another. I wasn't a virgin when him and I got together. He was the second person I ended up ever having sex with. And I would say, like, looking back as an adult, we didn't have a lot of sex because we didn't hang out a lot alone. Like, we had sex, but it was like we were always around people, or we was always somewhere, like out hanging out doing something. But whenever like he would come over, if my mom wasn't home, we would do it. If I went over his house and his parents wasn't home, or they was gonna be downstairs not bothering us. Like, you can hear in his house, because his room was up some steps. You can hear when somebody was coming, so we would just stop. He lived in a town next to mine, and we would just go see each other. I would take a cab to him, or like I would walk. I don't know how I was walking from Asbury to Neptune, but your girl was thirsty and I was doing it. I don't know if he was cute. I guess that was enough motivation, child. I don't know what I was thinking, but when you're young, you just be walking anywhere. Well, I was. So, and he lived up the hill. For y'all who in Monmouth County, I was walking from by the Asbury Park High School all the way up the hill. Bitch, I was trucking it, okay? I don't know how I made it, but I made it. But I would either walk or get a ride from my mom, or he would walk, get a ride from his parents or one of his friends or whatever, or I would take a cab. So we would, like do cute stuff. Our parents would, drop us off at the movies to meet each other, whatever. Like our parents they was supporting the message, which was cute or whatever. So what? Boom. So this how it all started. We in a relationship, we vibing, everything happening. One day I'm in my room and I'm chilling, watching TV. I'm just sitting there, texting on my phone, watching whatever was on TV. I just remember we had a daybed in the room. I just remember laying on the daybed, and my mom just like kind of like busting the room, like not boom, but like she came in there like, Ramis. And I, like I'm chilling in my room, minding my damn business, and she busting the room. So I'm like, yeah. She like, you got something you want to tell me? And I'm like, what? Like, like cute, you just chilling in your room. You a teenager, your mom come disturbing the damn peace, looking for something. Look, you feel like she looking for trouble. So I'm looking at her like, I'm looking around the room like, no, like what you talking about? So she like, you sure you don't have nothing that you want to tell me? And I'm like, no. She was like, all right. So she walked out the room. She closed the door. And I just turned around and I like beg looking at TV, and I'm thinking to myself like, what the hell? Like, what kind of weird ass mama is this? Like, what is she talking about? Do I have something to tell her? So I start thinking in my head like, did I do something? Like, did I do something in my trouble? What the hell have I done? I know I wasn't no bad student. I always had good grades. Sometimes I got in trouble for my mouth at school, but not at this time. So I'm just sitting there rummaging through my brain trying to figure out what my mama could be talking about. Because my mom, she didn't trip about a lot of stuff. So I'm like, well, what could she possibly, like, I would have had to done something for real, for real. I think I'm a teenager. I would have had to really do something for her to bust in my room like that. And I could not, after going through my brain, I'm like, I don't know what the hell she's talking about. So a few minutes later, she came back in the room, bust through the room again, like, okay, get up. Like, come on. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, do I got to get dressed? She's like, yeah, get up. So I got up. We get in her minivan. If y'all know about the Silver Bullet got a lot of kids back to their houses when we went to hang out at the movies or we was at the mall and ain't nobody had no ride home. Everybody packed up in the Silver Bullet. If you could fit, you could get a ride home. So boom, we get in the Silver Bullet, and the next thing I know, we pulled up to Planned Parenthood. So I'm like, why the hell are we here? I don't know, whatever. We go inside, and we go in there or whatever. And I remember waiting, and like my mom didn't say nothing. Like she didn't seem mad. She didn't like. She was just being regular, but she was being like eerie quiet. Like it was very like it. My mom is not. She's not loud and obnoxious. She's not me. Like I'm obnoxious a little bit. My mom is not like that. But it was odd for us to be at this random place. It was random to me. I didn't know. At this point, I still have no idea what's going on, what my mom talk about or anything. So we go there. Like the lady's taking my blood. She's taking my blood. She took my blood pressure. She made me pee in this cup. And we like do all of this stuff. And then this lady calls me in the room. And she's just like, congratulations, you're pregnant. So at first when she said it to me, I was in the room with the lady by myself. At Planned Parenthood, they can't unless you give them permission. And she was like telling me that I was pregnant. And I'm like, what? I'm looking at this lady like, I ain't come here to see if like what? I'm like, huh? I'm looking at her like, what? Like I was in disbelief. Like I'm like, bitch, what are you talking about? Pregnant about who? Where? What? Like I didn't feel sick. Like how when you grow up and they tell you all the symptoms of pregnancy. I didn't feel sick. I didn't look big. I didn't, like I was so small in high school. Like I feel like if I had some air in my stomach that I needed to poot out, you could see it. I don't know. But at this point, I'm just like, I'm in total disbelief. Like, and obviously the lady know that my mom brought me here because my mom did all the information or whatever. And I guess she told him, like, I think she's pregnant. I don't know. I wasn't in there. I wasn't at the desk with her when she, she had just brought me and I just sat down. And I was just like waiting. I didn't know what was going on. At first, when we first went back there, I thought like, is my mom trying to like say I got something? Or, like what's going on? Like did she think I need STD testing or whatever? We did do the testing, but like I'm like, well, what would make her? Why we here? So when the lady told me, I didn't really feel anything. Like I just felt like I felt confused, but like I wasn't happy. I wasn't sad. I wasn't anything. I was just like, what? Like, oh shit. So the lady was like, I know your mom is here. Do you need help telling her? And I was like, well, we can tell her. Like, I'm gonna have to tell her anyway. I think that, I think she might have known. That's why I'm here. I'm like, I didn't know. I didn't have any idea. So my mom comes in the room. The lady is like, yeah, Rains is pregnant. I'm just like, that's not my name, but whatever. Yeah, she's pregnant and da 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 da. So we went through this whole spiel, and the lady was like, to find out how far along she is, you have to do this, that, and the third. She gave us all these pamphlets and all this stuff, whatever. And like I was like looking at my mom, and she didn't look upset, which I was like, I wasn't shocked because my mom is a big badass, but my mom ride for her kids. And I think because my mom has gone through life and is still going through life, and she understands that stuff happens. My mom had us very young. So I don't know if she wasn't upset. I was surprised, but I wasn't. She was just like, it just was strange how she was. Like I was expecting her to show something else. Like I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't what she was giving. But she just was like, just being receptive of whatever information the lady was giving her. She was like, oh, you could do this. You could go here to do this and da 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 da. And my mom was like, okay, we did whatever else we needed to do, and we left. And I remember the rest of the day being real quiet. I remember my mom coming in my room at the end of the night, and she was just like, "Are you okay?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I didn't know." Like, how, like, and I'm asking her, like, "Well, why, what made you come and ask me that?" And she just was like, "I don't know." She was just like, "Mamas just know." And I just left it at that. She was like, "But we have to tell him and his mom, right? Or him and his parents, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but I don't know what to say." Like, do you just come out the woodworks? And I don't remember if I gave him a heads up beforehand, but I do remember us calling his mother. Well, we got in touch with his mother, and my mom had a conversation with her. I'm not sure really what she said, but I know it was something along the lines of, "We need to talk. It's serious," and whatever, whatever. So I don't remember clearly. I feel like we had the conversation on the phone, but I do remember at some point we all met up to talk about it. And when we from what I can remember clearly, because I know we had a conversation on the phone about it, and then I know we had one in person. And from both conversations, what I could remember was his mom being like a little bit like judgmental, a little bit like, it was like she was kind of like being judgy towards me. And my mom, I remember my mom getting spicy with her a little bit, like, "Look, she didn't lay down and have a baby by herself, like make a baby by herself. Like, you're not gonna treat her or treat the situation like she did something wrong. She can't get herself pregnant. Your son is just as responsible in this as she is." And if you don't know, Asbury and Neptune are like rivals. Everybody swear like, Asbury is so dirty. It's the hood. It is the hood, but everybody not dirty. Everybody not a bird. Everybody not, like a drug dealer. Everybody is not like that. Everybody's not what everybody tried to paint, the picture of Asbury residents to be like. And if that was the case, everybody from Asbury done dated or done sucked in somebody from Neptune. So it literally ain't nothing separating us but a damn street. So whatever. I guess to her, like, "Oh, this little fast little girl from Asbury and my son having a baby," whatever. Like, I don't know. That very well seemed like the narrative that that was the energy she was giving. And I didn't understand. Like, it kind of like threw me off a little bit because his mom was always very sweet to me. Like, anytime I've ever came over there, "Hey, honey, how are you? How's your mom?" Like, she was always very pleasant. I didn't really speak to his dad much. I don't remember, like, when I came there, I don't remember seeing his dad so much. I've seen him before, but I didn't have much encounters with him. It was always with his mom and his little sister. He had an older sister too, but I didn't ever really see her. I think she might have was away at college or something. But anyway, his mom was just being really judgmental, and she was like really like, "What are y'all gonna do? Like, what does she want to do?" Like, so his mom's stance was, she not having that baby, and whatever. Like, he has a future. He da 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 da. Like, she was being very, "My son is this, my son is that," and my mom's telling her like, "My daughter ain't never had a bee in her life. Like, she has a bright future as well. But we can't make them not, or like, we can't tell them what to do. Like, they have to decide what it is that they want to do. Like, we need to talk to them and let them know that they need to make a decision, because when you are pregnant, you don't have a lot of time to decide what you're going to do before you stuck with just having a baby." So my mom was just like, my mom told her, I remember my mom telling her, like, "I don't really like how you're handling it and the stuff that you're saying, but this is not about us. This is about these children. They was having sex and now the girl is pregnant. So what's going on? Like, how we all feeling about this?" So I remember my mom having a conversation with Raspy, and he was shocked, but he was giving a lot more, he was giving a lot more than I was. Like, I didn't really, like, I'm the one carrying it. I just, at this point, I was just absorbing everything everybody was saying. And I remember like when it was happening and when we were all discussing it, like I didn't say anything and I just was kind of like sitting there like this. But like in the moment, I felt myself like welling up with like all these emotions. But like it wasn't until I got home that I just like released the words. But I did it by myself. I was in the room. I was just crying. Like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to make of it. And I'm like, is my mom upset? Is my mom mad at me? Like, what the hell is my dad gonna say? Um, like what are people gonna say about me? Like, my mama know. Who else know? I didn't know how the hell my mama knew or had a hunch or whatever. So I'm just like, damn, this is crazy. So, after hearing my mom and his mom kind of like not fuss, but they were like, I felt like they were like both. I feel like my mom was like more on the defense, trying to like, you're not gonna try to play my daughter out, like like she did this by herself. Like she just said, hey, I appoint your son to give me sperm, and now I'm pregnant. Like, that's kind of like the energy his mama was giving, and my mom was like more we spent more time with my mom defending me than it was actually figuring out how Raspy and I felt about it and what we were gonna do. Because my mom is just like, it's up to them. So I remember in the conversation, my mom was telling me, like, I want you to take what she's saying into consideration, but you don't have to get an abortion if you don't want to. My mom, like, that you and that baby are good no matter what. Like, y'all are fine. You don't, if they want to get crazy, you don't need them. Like, it is what it is. And I don't feel like they would have gotten crazy. I do feel like if we didn't take the route that we took, that I do feel like my child would have been fine with him. Like I feel like he would have been there. He would have been a part of the process or whatever. So my mom, like I asked my mom, and I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? And she was like, I don't want you to get an abortion. I do want you to have the baby. She was just like, I wouldn't be able to do it, so I don't want you to do it. But she was like, but it's not what I want. You have to, she's like, I know you don't want to make the decision, but you have to, because you don't have, like a lot of time to do this. Like you have a certain window before like the process gets, harder and harder for you to be able to not have the baby if that's what you decide. So I'm like, okay. And I remember, like, I told her, like, I'll let you know. Just give me time, like, and we talked about it every day until we made the decision. Well, until I made the decision. So I remember briefly after having a conversation with his family, I remember my mom took me to this place where I got counseling for it. So this is something that I really, like, in the moment, not that I didn't appreciate it, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how important it was. But now as an adult, I thank my mom. Like, I love her for this. She took me to this place. It was in Shrewsbury, or on the way to Shrewsbury. I remember it was on the road that you would go to on your way to Planned Parenthood. So we get to this place. It looked like a house, but it was when we got in there, it was like not a doctor's office, but it was like some sort of office. And I'm sorry if I'm out of breath, y'all. I'm a little sick, so it's kind of hard for me to breathe when I talk. So I remember we got in there and we were speaking to this lady. She gave us these pregnancy pamphlets about, it was information on being able to decide what it is that you want to do. And we're talking to this lady. She asked me a lot about how I felt, like how I was feeling in the moment and what did my gut tell me that I wanted to do. And, like how was I feeling about what his mom was saying, what he was saying, what my mama was saying, what I was saying to myself internally. And she kind of like, we filled out this paper and it kind of told me, like, based on what I was telling her, the decision that I was leaning towards. And I remember we went there and the lady like showed us the process of having the child. She showed me the process of having an abortion and, like resources for whether I decided to keep the baby or to not keep the baby, resources for adoption, she it was just very informative. And um I really like, I rock with my mom for that. Like, I feel like any child or any person who, is not of age or is having difficulty going through something like that, I feel like that is really important to have, to like show a person their options and show them, like, it's okay if you do this, it's okay if you do this, this will be the process if you take this route. And it gave me a lot of clarity. Okay, so I'm gonna break it down as to what was going on. So you remember, I didn't have a lot of feelings about what it was that I wanted to do. I just was soaking in everybody else's stuff. And me and my mom sat down and had a conversation. So this is what I was battling. Obviously, we find out we're pregnant, and it obviously was something that didn't just affect him and I. It affected our parents, and it affected us. So it affected two separate families, right? So from my mom is like, it's up to you, but I don't want you to have an abortion. I want you to have the baby. Okay. His parents are telling him, I'm disappointed. You know better. How could you do this? Whatever, whatever. They're getting on him in, whatever way that they felt that they needed to get on their child. And in turn, he's turning to me like, I don't think we should have it. I don't think, I don't think it's the right thing to do. It's not the time, whatever, whatever. Okay, which is understandable. We were fucking children. So, then I hear him and his mama and my mama directly bickering a little bit, like, about, you're not, like, I'm not going to allow what you're saying to make my child feel no type of way. You need to be careful with your words and stop trying to act like, she did this by herself. Like, handle it properly. Like, tell her what you feel, but don't, tell her what you feel like should happen, but don't try to make it seem like she's a bad person because of the predicament that they're both in. Like, she's not in this by herself, whatever. And, my mom was just telling her, like, how would you feel if somebody did this to your daughter? Like, you don't do stuff like that. So when Raspy and I had a conversation about it, he was saying that, I don't think we should do it, and this is that and the third. But then he started to act like real funny. Like, it just was like, I don't know, like, in a sense, it was like I was dealing with it by myself, but that everybody had an opinion on what I needed to do. But like, he wasn't like checking up on me, like, like we would talk, but it was like he was like avoiding this piece of our life that we needed to, make a decision on. And I felt like he was giving me his opinion, but it was like, don't do, like, don't have the baby, don't have the baby. He didn't never ask me like, well, what do you think we should do? Or how do you feel? Do you want it? Like, he never asked me that. So I was just like, like, everybody kind of got their mind made up that I'm not having a baby or whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, like, the stuff that his mom was saying was making me very upset. And how she started to act made me upset. Like, like, it started to make me question, like, did I do something wrong? Like, okay, yeah, we had sex, but that's life. We are attracted to each other. We are teenagers who have functioning body parts who want to smush. But I didn't smush myself. I felt like I was being judged and like ridiculed about something that I did with your child. So the pressure was on me. I just felt like the pressure was on me or whatever. And like, I remember like just breaking down. And I'm like, I said to him, like, you just don't seem like you care. And I'm talking about, me and this boy was like so dumb in love. Like, we ain't never probably even had an argument before. Like, this was our first but this was our first like real deal Holyfield situation to deal with. And it was so extreme, and it was such a big deal that like it was a lot for us. And I just felt like he didn't care about what I felt. He didn't ask me or anything. He just had the conversation with his mama and his family, and whatever they said to him, he just was like he was insisting, like, you can't have this baby, you can't have this baby, you can't have this baby. And I'm just like, okay, but like, like, I'm asking him, like, so after this is all over, whether we have the baby or not, like, what does this mean for us? And he was just like, I don't know, because either way, like, it changes everything. You know, if we have a baby, I can't go away to school. If we have a baby, I can't do this. If we have a baby, I can't do that. And he didn't like. It was just like nobody thought about like, hello, like my life will change too. Like like I'm not no dummy. Like I was working. I had a job and stuff. Like I was cheering. I'm a great student, straight A student. Like nobody's thinking about how I was gonna be affected by having to carry this child for 9 months, and then after that I'm stuck with just this responsibility for the rest of my life. And it was just like it was just kind of like I was just in some type of twilight zone or something. Like nobody gave a freak about me. It was just that everybody wanted me to do what they wanted me to do. So ultimately, I took everything everybody said into consideration, and I ended up telling my mom that I wanted to get an abortion. And she was like, my mom was upset about that, and she was just like, are you doing that because of what Raspy's mom said? And I'm like, yeah, but no. Like, I was never one of those girls that aspired to have a spouse and a child. Like, I never envisioned myself with children. Not that I don't want them now. No, I don't know. I just don't see it for myself. But I wasn't exactly thrilled about the idea anyway, but my mom was just trying to make sure that I wasn't just doing it because I felt like pressured from Raspy's mom or Raspy himself, because my mom obviously knows because I was telling her, what he wanted to do. So my mom was just like, but I don't want you to do something that you're going to regret, and then, you're only doing it because these people are telling you that that's what you want to do, or that's what you should do. And I was telling my mom, like I told her, and I was like, and I don't want to just sit up and have a child simply because you're telling me that you don't want me to. And she was just like, no, it's not that, I want you to do what you want to do, but, this is just what I prefer. So I ended up telling my mom. We ended up going back to the doctor. We just told them what we wanted to do, and they asked me that I wanted to be awake during the procedure. They asked me that I want to be asleep during the procedure. And of course, I picked to be asleep. I didn't know what, it was going to feel like, so I didn't want to be conscious when it was taking place. So my mom took me to the doctors. We made the decision. We set an appointment date. And because my mom was upset, she was upset, but she wasn't like being mean or like nasty to me. It just was after that. Oh, I'm trying not to like get emotional. This is so crazy. It was so long ago, but obviously I'm still whatever. But after I told her that I didn't want to, like that I wanted to get an abortion, she wasn't being nasty or mean. She just didn't want anything else to do with the process moving forward. So, she didn't just like leave me hanging, but she helped me decide when I was gonna do it, where I was gonna do it. We ended up going to Inglewood, which was very far. I remember it was a long, quiet drive, but my mom would not take me. She was not happy about the decision, so she just was like, I'll set everything up. I'll help you after, but I don't want to be there for the process. So she didn't take me. So I'm assuming that my mom called my nana and told her obviously what was going on, and my nana agreed to take me. So my nana agreed to take me, and she drove me all the way to Inglewood. She sat in the waiting room with me. It was real quiet between us, but like the waiting room was like real hectic. I wanted to walk out of there so bad. I remember Raspy asking me like, did I want him to come? And I don't know if I said no or yes. I don't know, but he ended up not coming. And I was there, and I just felt like I was just like so emotional. Like I don't know. I found myself being mad at him. Um, because I felt like, you know, I felt like he wasn't like doing enough. Like for as close as we were, I felt like maybe whatever his parents were saying was kind of like he was like being distant a little bit. And I feel like at this time, at this particular time, we already are pregnant. There's nothing that can like there's nothing worse at this point for me that could happen. Like he can't get me pregnant. Again, I'm already here. And I don't know. We were just talking last, and then when we were talking, it was just about get an abortion, get an abortion, get an abortion. And I just felt like, okay, what the fuck? So I just started to like get real angry. And I was just like, I remember talking, like, thinking to myself, like, do I even want to be with him anymore? Like, I don't even think he likes me anymore at this point. His mom is being really weird to me now. Like, she's being kind of like rude and judgmental and like kind of nasty. And, like it just changed our little fairy tale. So I remember going in there. They gave me a pill, and the lady said it was like to not induce me, but to induce me. I don't remember, but she was just like, you might experience some cramping or whatever. So I took the pill and I sat back in the waiting room. I didn't feel anything. So maybe an hour or so goes by, and then they call me into the room, and my nana was just like, I'll be back. My nana talked to the people at the place, and like she gave them her phone number, and I guess they called her whenever I was done. What they were gonna call her whenever I was done. So I remember going in the back. They had me take all my clothes off, and I put on this gown. And I think it was like 3 people in the room, 3 or 4 people in the room. And I remember like, oh my gosh, whatever. I remember there was like somebody in between my legs, like, setting up like the bed situation. Like I was laying down, but they had to like pull stuff out from underneath me. Like they were doing a lot of stuff in like the background. And then it was like a nurse or somebody like putting tools or something like on this stand. And then like she was in the back doing that. And then there was another lady like right next to me, and she was holding my hand, and she was like, are you okay? I'm sorry, I don't know why I thought I could tell the story without crying. And I don't know. I didn't really think about all the details up to this point, but there was a lady in the back putting stuff on the stand, I guess to do the procedure. And she covered it up with like not a white cloth, but it was like I don't know, I guess white sterile paper or something. But she didn't want me to see it. So she like put the stuff on the stand, covered it up, and she like pushed it in the back, like out of my sight. And then there was a male doctor. He was the one like in between my legs, pulling stuff out of the drawers and pulling these compartments, whatever. And then there was another lady putting there was another lady to my right. She was like, they're gonna give you whatever. It was some stuff they put inside I had an IV in my arm. There was something they put inside the IV to put me to sleep. So she was just like, before we continue, are you okay? And I just started crying. I was just like, no. But she was like, do you still want to do it? And I said, yeah. So she was just like, okay. And she was just like, I'm sorry. I don't know why she said that, but she was being really nice. She was just like, I'm sorry, but she was the lady on the other side. She put whatever the anesthesia inside the IV, and then she was like, count from 10, and then you're gonna go to sleep. I remember saying 10, and then I was out. That's it. I didn't feel nothing. I didn't hear anything. The next thing that happened was I woke up. There was a nurse shaking me, like, hey, get up, it's time to get up. You know, like, are you okay? How do you feel? She gave me water and they gave me medicine. And she was like, here, take this. It's for the pain. She was like, you won't feel anything now, but it's just enough to hold you over until you're able to get your prescription. So I was like, okay. And she was like, we put a pad on you because obviously from the procedure there was blood, whatever. So she was like, you know, she explained everything that I needed to do from that moment forward. She was just like, here's, you know, we gave you a pad. Make sure when you get home, you shower, you do this, that, and the third. If you experience this, that, and the third, you need to call a doctor. You need to let us know, whatever, whatever. And she let me know how my period would be affected by it. And they walked me to the door. And I got in the car with my Nana. My Nana was waiting there. I guess they must have called her. And she pulled up on the side of the road, and I got in the car, and I don't remember what my Nana said, but she like said something smart. And like I just remember just looking at her like in my head, I'm like, not the time. But I didn't even say nothing to her. I just looked at her and just was like, whatever. And I just remember like turning, you know, like you turn your body from a person, and I just cried the whole way home. Like I wasn't crying because I was in pain. I just was crying because I'm like, what did I just do? Like, did I just kill a baby? You know, like I just went through all these different emotions. And I remember he came over, like we like chilled. I won't say we hung out because like it wasn't like a happy moment. I wasn't happy. I was just like bawling my damn eyes out. And then like after that, our relationship kind of like, it just was like his mama was acting weird. My mom was like not mad at me, but she was just like upset that I didn't have the baby. And of course, like it became a little chatter around the family because my Nana she talked too much. I love you, Nana. You my favorite girl, but you talk too much. You know, my mama asked my Nana to take me, so my Nana probably told my aunt probably told, I don't know, child. But people knew. I wasn't like embarrassed or nothing. I don't know. I didn't really care. I was more traumatized by the process than I cared about what anybody was saying. Sorry. So I just started to feel like, you know, it just felt like he didn't care anything ever, but after that, it just never was anything. And I actually, it's crazy. I've seen him, but I haven't like spoken to him since then. I wonder how he's doing. But yeah, it would be, you know, I wonder like I wonder what his perspective and what his family's perspective is. I would love to talk to them to see what they think of the situation and what they can remember from it and how it made them feel. I think that would be a good video. We'll see what God can do. So yeah, that's my story. If you guys have any questions or anything you want to ask me, please feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll make sure that I'll answer your comments and your questions. If you guys feel like you want to share your stories, you can DM me on Instagram at Sincerely Ramis, or you can leave them down in the comments. Please be encouraging and nice to one another down in the comments. Please don't say anything offensive. I will block you and delete you. So, yes, be nice. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Please subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you can get updates on whenever I post.